You are listening to the Paranormal Chronicles radio show. Here is your host, paranormal researcher and author of the best-selling A Most Haunted House, Gavin Lee Davis.
Hello creatures, and welcome to another episode of TPCN. I am your host G L Davies, founder of the ParanormalChronicles.com and author of the best-selling Haverfordwest based A Most Haunted House. This is an unscheduled episode which has been uploaded due to events that happened on Tuesday the 22nd of August that we felt needed to be shared. For subscribers and fans, do not fear, as a brand new Event Horizon radio show with the devilish Dave Dominguez will be dropped today as Dave presents The Ghosts of Old Town Albuquerque, Texas, and it is a fantastic show for all with an interest in the paranormal. Remember creatures, that once we reach 2,000 subscribers we will be giving away some cool stuff to one lucky subscriber, so subscribe and press the bell button now. Great to have you on board, bell buddies. Right, Pembrokeshire is fast becoming a paranormal hotbed of activity again, with the Nail and Haunting, which we covered in last week's show. Find it in the TPCN playlist, and a big thank you for the 18,000 viewers and all the great theories. Plus a new sighting of the Haverfordwest monk, plus a new sighting of the Waterston lady. And then lo and behold, while out on an adventure with explorer extraordinaire Sian Davies of Sian's Gardening Services, we inadvertently, easy for me to say, think we caught a voice in the most unlikely of. We had major equipment malfunction, so presented in this show are pictures from both mine and Sian's phone and a few minutes film recording and audio recording. I didn't bring my standard equipment as this was just a scouting expedition, but certainly we'll be bringing it all for the next adventure. Before we present the recording, can we first say that, as likely as this may be an EVP, that's electronic voice phenomena, there are also many plausible explanations. Plus we want to hear your own theories, so skeptic and believers alike. Plus, as this was a surprise excursion, some of the conversations recorded that I will play for you does contain some strong language, and for very good reason, as you're about to find out. So if you're really young or easily offended, then maybe go and watch one of our other videos, but definitely not the one about the ghost sex. I would imagine that would be very offensive and challenging to quite a few of you, while deeply pleasurable and thrilling to others. So go make your choice. Okay, let's give you the background on this. Okay, Sian Davies is a local explorer, mountain climber, coastal swimmer and all-round adventurous type. When she's not exploring the beautiful county of Pembrokeshire, then she is lovingly tending to gardens as Sian's Gardening Services. Yes, that is a plug, and yes, she is amazing at her work. Sian invited me out and she had discovered a location she felt I would be interested in. She drove me to beautiful St Ishmaels in Pembrokeshire. We strolled past the beautiful church and truly haunting graveyard and made our way around the coastal path. We brought her dog Elaine too, who is just as keen to explore as her mistress. Is it mistress for a woman or master? I don't know. Email me. Urban explorers and walkers will no doubt be familiar with the beautiful coastal scenery with the Napoleonic watchtowers and World War I and Second World War observation posts and gun emplacements. Sian took me to 3 of these installations that have overlooked the sea and protected the county for hundreds of years. The area was thickly overgrown as the buildings were losing their battle to the relentless creep of nature. G.V. Thomas' local knowledge and such things has since informed me that one of these installations was a radio detection finder, a precursor to radar, and at one stage there were up to 5, count them, 5 minefields in the area, and an ammo pit so big it can be seen from space by satellites. With thick, stuffy air, we ventured through one building into a darkened room. The room was filled with a few inches of water and the most awful smell imaginable. It was rough. I will admit I was sick, as I do have a weak stomach, but undeterred we continued in. Our equipment had been failing since we arrived, and we were down to only one torch and our phones were intermittent, to the degree that neither of us could access our phones, torches or recording devices for very long, or access Google Maps or Tinder. We were horrified to realise that the water in the room was filled with maggots. No joke, people, it was humming. Ugh, it is rough. It was rough as you can imagine it to be. This was the second time I was sick, and then a third when we found a dead sheep. Its remains heaped in a corner, its fluids leaking into the pool of water beneath our feet. Sian was keen to collect the poor animal's skull, but upon reflection decided it might not be the most hygienic of actions to pursue, which I'm very glad about. You really have no idea of the smell, the feeling of that one area. It was hot and suffocating, damp and diseased, and I was glad to emerge back into the light. It really was like an awful dream. Never have I felt so oppressed by an environment during my paranormal life. If you do go, just be prepared for the worst, and please be careful. Just take your time. Sian explained that these structures would have been used as observation points and manned by Coastal Command naval gunners or members of the Royal Observer Corps. And at this stage of the exploration, the thought of the dead and spirits were furthest from my mind, after I'd evacuated my stomach 3 times in just one location alone. Anyone knows me understands that I have a terribly weak stomach and retch at the slightest thing. The next sight was less horrific until we entered the room and were set upon by startled bats. Yes, that's right, we were set upon by bats. Sian pointed at bad boys, which were massive spiders with golf ball sized egg sacs. Every corner of the room was filled by dark, lanky arachnids, and even now I'm worried that one has crept into my rucksack. This is a nightmare place. It is rough. The claustrophobic nature of the place and the stuffy air and the smells of decay and rot caused me to suffer a small asthma attack, which is relevant to what happened next. I finally got my phone working and thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a small interview with Sian that I could maybe play during an upcoming show. Little did I know what we had captured. I discovered it while looking to edit out my wheezing. I'll play the entire clip and let you hear it before I point out the strange voice, if that is what it is. Please note that Sian and her buffoonery are responsible for a jump scare quite early into this, and this recording does contain some bad language. Also, as far as we were concerned, it was just myself, Sian and Elaine the dog, but that is not to say that someone unseen was down there with us in the darkness. Have a listen and we'll break it down afterwards.
We're both a bit mental.
Yeah.
And we like adventures.
So, do you know what these were used for? Oh, Sian. Oh, I just tripped as well. What?
I got my torch to run out of battery then.
Fuck. So what were these used for, Sian?
These were where they stored the arms, I think. And there's another section, there's living quarters and all sorts, like, I don't know, that's an air hole up there, isn't it? Who the fucking war is mental.
And what did we see in the other one? Tell our audience. Well, how fun was the last?
The other one, which was exactly the same layout as this, had a dead sheep in the corner covered in maggots.
And it's like a horror film, wasn't it? Because the whole floor was pooled with water and they were filled with maggots.
I think that actually might have been liquid from the decaying animal, actually.
But you wanted a skull.
I did, yeah, but it was covered in maggots, so I'll have to come back when the maggots have gone.
So I am here, Gavin Lee Davies of the ParanormalChronicles.com with Sian Davies of Sian's Gardening Services, who, believe it or not, is also an adventurer, myth hunter and urban explorer. So
yeah, I am, yeah.
How did you discover this?
Check out those bad boys there.
Well, when she means bad boys, we were looking at the biggest spiders ever. They are. What are those spiders, Sian? I'm a bit scared of those ones.
I don't know what they are, but they're huge.
Yeah, they're fat with babies.
When you're like a bit of an adventure explorer, word gets around, doesn't it? And other explorers like to take other explorers to exploring places.
That's good logic.
Yeah.
This place, I got a much better feel of this place. The other one, it hasn't made me retch yet.
The other one was disgusting, beyond.
So do you do this often?
Yeah.
And do you do it on your own?
No, not this type of exploring. Not this type of adventure. It's not. Yeah, no.
So yeah, we're just walking through the cavern now. It is pitch black. The daylight is at the end. These were World War I bases and billets and armaments, ammunition storage during the First World War.
As well, weren't there?
And lookout towers as well over the estuary of Pembrokeshire. I wouldn't actually recommend you coming down here unless you want to smell the most awful thing you can imagine, which is a dead sheep rotting in a room which is filled with water, filled with maggots. So we will catch up with you later.
And we're back. So did you hear it? What did you hear? What I'm going to do, I will play the segment where we believe we have a voice, which is not myself or Sian, a few times, and let you decide. Now, we won't tell you what we think we're hearing, as we don't want to influence you. So let's listen to that.
Like adventures.
So what do you think you heard? We believe the voice is saying, stand and be recognized. Okay, so let's listen to it again. Did you hear stand and be recognized, or did you hear something else? Now, I don't want to influence you, so all you hear is stand and be recognized. So if you do have an opinion on what you are hearing, then please let us know. Now, stand and be recognized is something that possibly a guard or a sentry would ask of someone they are unsure about. Now, in all my years investigating, this is the first clear EVP I have recorded, which kind of makes me skeptical to the origin. The voice almost sounds as if it's coming out of a radio. Now, we did not have a radio on us, and I can't find any evidence that our phones was picking up radio interference. But perhaps, maybe in the dark, there was an old radio somewhere, possibly picking up radio waves from the ships in the estuary, the Port Authority, Coast Guard, or refineries. When listened to in stereo, the voice seems to come in from behind me and to the right. And from my recollection at the time of the recording, that would mean the voice or transmission came from the stairs leading below, back into the darkness. Could it be that we are hearing a voice from a different time, a sentry from the past, worried by the voices and shadows of two unknown strangers? Could it possibly be the spirit of a forgotten serviceman still guarding the decaying installations, honor bound to a duty no longer required? Maybe we were not alone and a very human presence was with us, watching us from the darkness, playing a prank, which in itself is creepy, as I don't know why anyone would want to spend too much time there. Sian was concerned when I played her the voice the following day, as she was sure we'd been alone the whole time. Was it a radio signal carried in and picked up on our phone somehow? Was it a stray action man in amongst the debris and decay, or was it something far more sinister? Regardless of the cause, it warrants further investigation, and the Paranormal Chronicles will be back there in force. After a visit, Sian and Elaine had a good old swim in the sea as I wheezed and took pictures. Make sure to visit Sian's gardening services on Facebook if you want to contact Sian about her further adventures and shenanigans, and if you want to see her climbing mountains and the like, then check out her brand new YouTube channel, sensibly called Sian Davies. If you're going to investigate, then please be very careful, as it is very treacherous in parts. Be respectful of the land and property around you, and please make sure you tell someone before you go down there. Make sure you bring back up recording devices, as it is most odd how quickly our equipment malfunctioned. And if you do record anything, then email me at paranormalchronicles@aol.com or message me on Facebook at The Paranormal Chronicles. Subscribe and like. Leave your comments below. Check out tonight's Event Horizon show with D Triple on the ghost of Old Town Albuquerque. And check out last week's episode on the Nayland haunting. That was super interesting. And before I go and wish you a good night, let's listen to that voice one more time. I am G L Davies. Together we explore the unknown.
And we like adventures.
You are listening to the Paranormal Chronicles Network. Please remember to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Visit theparanormalchronicles.com for paranormal news, reports, pictures, audio, and video content. Find us on Facebook at The Paranormal Chronicles. Together, we explore the unknown.
Serendipity Jewelry is beautiful, handmade jewelry by a Native American artist. Treat yourself or a loved one to earrings, bracelets, and necklaces. All items are lovingly crafted using real natural crystals and materials. Join us on Facebook at Serendipity Jewelry and message us for further information, to browse our items, or for beautiful handcrafted gifts. Serendipity Jewelry. Spiritual beauty for you.
Do you believe in ghosts? A Most Haunted House is the true best-selling paranormal account that has chilled the world. Available on Kindle, on Audible, and in paperbook. Dare you read? Dare you step inside a most haunted house?
The Paranormal